Hey, what's up guys? This is me, Nisi of Spoil Me Nisi, back with another video. I hope you're all doing well and enjoyed your Memorial Day long weekend. So I'm a little late to the party for Netflix Army of the Dead. It did take me a little while to watch the movie. I had been meaning to watch it, but I just didn't get to it. Well, I finally did, and this is my reaction to it. If you haven't already had the chance to watch this movie, as always, this video is going to have a ton of spoilers all up and through it. So let's get into it. I'm a little indifferent about this movie. I know that if you've been watching my videos since I've started in November, I have explained that I'm not a fan of violence and gory movies. There are some movies that do have a little bit of violence that I do watch, in shows and stuff like that. But, me and gore, I'm just not a big fan of it. However, I was a big fan of The Walking Dead, a series of shows, up until about 2 years ago. So I'm not like, I am okay with, zombie movies. So watching this movie, I feel like if you're a person that is a big fan of gore and, and all of that stuff, you might like it. Personally, I thought that some of the gore in this movie was definitely unnecessary. It just kind of seemed like, to make the movie more action-packed, they included some gore and violence that I just felt was unnecessary, but that might be a biased opinion since I'm not a big fan of that kind of thing. Now, as far as the storyline goes, I wasn't a fan of the storyline. So pretty much, like, if you haven't already seen it, just in a nutshell, in 3 seconds, this movie was pretty much about a bunch of people that were led by greed into a bad situation where there was 100% chance that they would either get killed or turned into zombies, period. And that's pretty much what it was about. I just didn't like the storyline itself. I think that the theme of the movie, these people going back into that area where all the zombies were, I think that was a good thing, but I would have preferred if it wasn't necessarily money they were going back for. I would prefer if they were going back for something like maybe if one of their kids or, I don't know, a family member or someone like that were stuck, in a dungeon and they had to all go and do a rescue mission for that person. I don't really like that they were going necessarily for money because, I don't know, that's just a little corny, especially since the great majority of the money had to go to these people who were already rich, and they were only going to get a portion of the money anyway. And then come to find out that wasn't even the true mission. The true mission was to get this queen's head. So I don't know. I just didn't like that part of the movie. But speaking of the queen's head, another thing that I thought was a little interesting about this movie were the zombies. In most zombie movies that you watch, like Dawn of the Dead, Fear of the Walking Dead, I don't know, just the different countless movies or in shows that you've seen about zombies. Of course, in all of the movies and shows, the zombies are a little bit different. But one thing that I have never seen before was a pregnant zombie. I have never seen that in a movie before, especially because zombies are technically dead people. They're dead men and women walking in those zombies. So really, zombies shouldn't be able to get pregnant because a dead person can't get pregnant, right? But in this movie, the queen, come to find out after they had already taken her head, it turns out that she was pregnant. I was a little bit taken back by that. So in case I haven't mentioned it already, the people that sent these individuals on a quest to go get the money, the goal was really just to get this queen lady's head and use it for testing to build an army of dead people. I guess the government wanted to weaponize these zombies and they needed her head specifically That's another thing that I thought was weird about this movie. They had a bunch of zombies, but they were specifically going for that queen's head, but they didn't really elaborate on what made her head different from any other zombie head. I mean, they could have found any zombie and cut off their head and done something with it. So when that was revealed in the movie, I was a little bit taken back by that. But anyway, back to her baby. You'll notice that the king, because there's a queen and a king zombie in the movie. So you have like this zombie hierarchy in the movie, and human beings, in order to have free passage into that area, have to sacrifice a human. That I didn't like either. I thought that was stupid. But anyway, and then, they take off her head. The king finds her, takes her back to the Olympus hotel, aka the crazy, weird, super powerful zombies home, and he listens to her stomach, which he did in the beginning, and I wondered why he did that. But anyway, he digs his hands into her womb, and inside of her womb is literally a little zombie baby growing. That I have not seen before. I thought that was really interesting. And that made me dislike the movie, because it's just like, okay, well, they're dead, so she's pregnant, what? Anyway. Yeah, so I didn't even like the zombies in this movie. I didn't like the characters either. A great majority of the characters I did not like. My least favorite character in the movie was Ward's daughter. She sucked in the movie. I think the movie could have done without her character. And my least favorite thing about the movie is technically Kate, she was the only person that actually lived in the movie. She put everybody in harm's way looking for her friend Gita, who ended up dying in the end. I don't know. I was kind of hoping that they would have left her character. Like, I was hoping they would have stopped her character at the door before going into the zombie world and just, like, left her there. But she hates her dad, and when they got to the bottom of why she hated him, she hated her dad because he wasn't affectionate. And it's just like, they could have done better with that in the movie as well. I would have rathered her be mad at her dad for killing her mom, who was a zombie, than her being mad at him because, I don't know, grief stopped him from being able to be a dad. And it's like, she was so full of hate. I don't know, she was kind of a jerk in the movie. And it just kind of sucked that, like, she was, like, the last person standing. Like, she ended up living in the movie. I don't know. I could think of a lot of other characters in the movie that I would have preferred to be the last person standing. I think she should have been the first one to go. To be really honest, my favorite characters in the movie were this guy, Guzman. I kind of had a feeling that he was going to die in the movie because that was kind of foreshadowed a couple times in the movie. But I really liked him. I thought he was really funny, and they kind of brought that whole, like, modern day flair to it when he's, like, taking selfies and stuff, so I was kind of hoping that by the end of the movie he would live and you would kind of see him go back to his hood with all this money, like, talking about the zombies and stuff, and then, like, have, like, a sinister twist to it or something like that. I was kind of hoping that they would have, I don't know, done something like that with his character. But I really liked his character in the movie. Funny enough, he was one person that was going to get the smallest cut in the whole movie, and somehow Katie, who in my opinion was a jerk of the movie, was going to get a cut bigger than his, but you know how it is. Anyway, and then my second favorite person in the movie was Amari Hardwick, who played Vanderho. Now, I'm biased with that too, because I love me some Amari Hardwick. Ever since he played Ghost in Power, which I'm waiting for him to come back on the show, but that's another story. He's one of my favorite actors. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with his handsome good looks or with his acting capabilities. I'm not sure. But he's a great actor and he's very handsome. So either way, I was very happy to see him in the movie. I'm actually very happy to see him in anything other than Power. And I think this was a good movie for him to play in because he wasn't some, like, gangster drug dealer in this movie. He was completely different from what I'm used to seeing him as. So, that was a mouthful. Anywho, I really liked him in the movie. He was kind of serious. He was strong. I love a strong male role in a movie. I love a strong man. And I liked his character. Now, the one and only thing that I did appreciate about the movie, and I really did like, was the plot twist. So, aside from Katie's, self being the only person that technically lives at the end of the movie, I did like that in the end, Vanho, Amari's character, he kind of lives. He gets out of the nuclear blast and he takes all this money and he rents a private jet to go to New Mexico. But when he's there, he's starting to get sick. He's queasy, not acting like himself. He goes in the bathroom and come to find out he got bit by a zombie. Now, the only zombie that I can think of that could have potentially bit him is one of the really strong ones that's not like a regular zombie. So because of how this movie ends, I'm about 95% sure that they're going to make another movie. Now, in the other movie, I'm sure Katie will be in it, being annoying. But I'm wondering how they're going to incorporate Vanho, or I should know his real name. I'm wondering how they're going to incorporate Vanderhoe's character in the second movie. And I was just sitting here thinking, like, are they gonna like cut his arm off like how they did in that movie World War Z and the girl had one arm? Because being that he had been bitten, you saw the venom going up his arm, but it hadn't quite gotten to the rest of his body at that point. So really, if they cut his arm off, he probably has a shot at not becoming a zombie, but then his defenses will be low and he won't be able to fight them. So I'm kind of wondering if, since he got bit by one of those really strong zombies, if when he lands in New Mexico, he'll make another army of really strong armies and then become like the king, big, super powerful zombie. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with that. Because of how the movie had a plot twist with his character, I'm kind of sort of looking forward to a second movie. I'm not looking forward to the gore and grit and all that crazy stuff because I don't like it. But because of how the movie ended, I'm a little bit intrigued and I do want to know what they do with his character. So to sum it all up, if I had to rate this movie from 1 to 10, I give this movie a solid 6. Honestly. That's one of the lowest ratings that I think I've given any of the movies that I rated. But honestly, I do give it a 6. Out of all the zombie shows and movies I've seen, this one is not really, it's not really a favorite. But I am, actually, no, let me change that. I give it a 7 because of the ending. In most of these movies, the black guy gets it. But I was really, impressed that in this movie, he ended up not getting killed technically. I mean, he kind of ends up getting killed because he got bit. So we know that's going to be what ends up happening to him in the long run. But at least he was alive when the movie ended, right? So yeah, I give this movie a 7. Not really a 6. But anyway, if you have seen this movie, in the comment section, let me know what you think about it. Make sure you like this video and make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button if you haven't already done so. In the meantime, I'll see you next time. Peace and God bless.